all tracking to the northeast at around 30 miles an hour for the most part. I've got Haley in here running the radar as well. Haley?
Yeah, exactly. These storms have been moving in all because of that little cold front that we saw a couple days ago, and then that actually lifted back up to the north as a warm front. So that's why we're seeing all this convection really start to pop up across the area. Now moving into the western side of central Texas. Again, we're going to go ahead and show you the indicated rotation that we are looking at. There's a possibility of maybe two. I think they're just only talking about one as of right now with this tornado warning over in Lampasas County. We are seeing this indicated rotation move in. This is all moving up to the northeast at about 30 miles per hour. Yes, there we go. So I'm going to go ahead and put another tracker on it just to make sure that we kind of have our bearings set, and for anybody within this path in particular. So let me go ahead and throw up a tracker for this, extend the length out just a little bit, and throw some more cities up here. So again, if you are in this line, make sure to be heading to your safe place immediately. That's going to be a basement, a storm shelter, anywhere away from windows or doors. If you have like an inner pantry, if you don't happen to have a basement or a storm shelter, please make sure to get there as soon as possible. So it's moving into the Fairview community at 6:18 p.m., B House at 6:24 p.m., Pearl at 6:29, and the Ohio community at 6:33. Again, this is a Doppler indicated rotation that's moving to the northeast at 30 miles per hour. So as of right now, we're not seeing anything in terms of a confirmed tornado, but there is definitely something trying to get out there and trying to rotate most definitely. So I'm going to go ahead, just in case, pull up our debris signature just to be sure that we're not seeing anything. No, okay, so there's not anything as of right now on the ground that we can't see, but there is definitely something that is rotating. So once again, the Fairview community at 6:18 as we head towards the B House community at 6:24, Pearl 6:29, Ballard Crossing 6:33, the Ohio community at 6:33 also. So please make sure to be getting into your safe places. If this thing continues to rotate, it will definitely drop a tornado on the ground. So you want to make sure that you are prepared if this so happens to come into your direction.
Yeah, absolutely. Haley, you're absolutely right with that. And matter of fact, what we look for right now is that kind of that little hook echo on our exclusive Viper radar. Been kind of hard to pick that out, but as we put that tracker on there and it's moving to the northeast at 30, get the idea right now that these are the communities that need to take action, meaning it means you need to kind of stay away from the windows. We've had these thunderstorms here that can and have been producing some larger hail. We're talking hail over 1 inch in diameter, winds stronger than 60 miles per hour, and Doppler radar indicated tornadoes right now. You can kind of see what we're talking about. If you live in the Lumita area, it's just to your north right now, and that is all going to be moving very swiftly off to the north and to the east. Notice the hail out there. It's kind of pulsating up and then it's kind of going down. Once again, the communities that are involved that are all going to be northeast, there's a picture right now of our storm relative velocity. Again, checking out the winds. There's our reflectivity, checking out the very, very heavy rainfall. This is good news because we need the rain out there, but we don't need the lightning. We don't need the strong winds, and obviously we don't need any tornado. That is for sure. But that's what we are seeing right now with our Viper radar. This is, again, our storm relative velocity, checking out the wind. The radars right now indicate the winds that are from the red moving away from the radar site, green toward the radar site. And there's the tracker as we put that on there as it moves off to the northeast there. The northern part of Lampasas County is the area that's under the gun right now with the possibility of a tornado right now. It's very difficult to see it. It's going to be rain wrapped out there, low hanging clouds, but get an idea on some of the communities that are involved in that over toward Fairview around 6:20, over toward the B House at 6:26, Pearl at 6:31, Slab Crossing 6:34, Ballard Crossing at 6:35. That is the general track right now, and we've had temperatures today kind of all over the place, but we've had enough instability and we've had enough disturbances move through. We've got not only a surface front that moved through, but we've got an upper level system that's kind of moving across our area, and that puts areas right now under a slight risk. This area is just southwest of Waco, Temple-Killeen under this slight risk, and that's what we're seeing right now. But there's a tracker on that. You can get a load of the times there over toward the B House around 6:26. But this is a very good indication of the showers and the storms and the wind that's inside of it. The bright red, that is a tornado warning in effect right now for Limpasas County. As you can see, there it is right there. We've got flood warnings in effect over towards Saba County, but as these all track off to the north and to the east, roughly, they're going to be bringing that heavy rainfall with you. That tornado warning still in effect now for the next 20 minutes, not only for Goldthwaite, we're talking Mills County up there, but we're also talking about down in toward Limpasas there in Limpasas County. We will circle the area of concern, kind of right on the county border line right there. This is the area that we are watching very, very closely. That would be the area of rotation, and that's going to be tracking off to the northeast. Picking up a few communities along the way. There we go, and you'll notice for the most part there, we get a little bit more coverage area the farther out, because the cone gets a little bit bigger. But if you live over toward Avant, around 621 B House, at 624 Pearl, at 630, you can kind of get the idea here. Shortly after 630, we need to be watching those other areas, over toward Ballard Crossing, over toward Ohio as well. But just south of Moline right now is the area of concern, south of the Pleasant Grove area, as that continues to move off to the north and to the east. A lot of these communities, though, you might be just waiting for someone to get home from work or school. Maybe they're home late. Maybe they're going to be home a little bit later. The weather right now is acting up. If you can get a hold of them, let them know that the weather is very active. It's severe right now in that community that they're heading toward, and they definitely may just need to stay where they are right now until it passes. But you can kind of see it's really taking up a bigger area. It's getting a little bit stronger, looks like, to the south right now of basically the Lomita area, and that it continues to lift to the north and to the east. Hamilton is just to your south right now. The heavier rainfall, the strong winds, that will continue to lift as well in that area. Hamilton is not under any warning right now, but be ready to take action, because it's not going to be too long before it moves in your direction. That is the area as we look at that, as it moves off to the northeast at about 30 miles an hour. Haley, any new information?
Yeah, I'm not seeing anything in terms of new information. I'm going to go ahead and put another storm tracker up just to be sure, so everybody can kind of get their bearings set. But they're also talking about, and I don't know if you can see this, Mike, this kind of second area of rotation that's in Hamilton County right now. It's kind of over where this storm tracker is, but they're not saying anything in terms of that being a concern as of right now, but we are going to watch it just to be sure. They're both, if that is another indicated rotation, which it looks like it to me, just south of Hamilton in Hamilton County, they'll definitely pop a tornado warning on that as well. But they're not saying anything of that in terms of right now. We're just focused on the one that's in Limpasas County. Again, moving off to the northeast at about 30 miles per hour. So once again, I'm going to put another tracker on here. I keep losing it, and now I'm going to bring it back up. Again, I pulled up the debris tracker as of probably about 5 minutes ago. I didn't see anything on it as of right now. I'm going to go ahead just to be sure to pull it up again. And we're not seeing anything that's exactly on the ground. It doesn't look like that to me. So that's a good thing. We don't want to see that. But again, if this thing continues to develop the energy that it has, it could most definitely touch down. It could be in the pathway of the Fabian Crossing in about 20 minutes or so. B House at 631, Pearl at 637, Ohio at 641. So if you're in any of these communities, or if you happen to be driving maybe from the east going towards the Goldthwaite area or the Limpasas area, in between any of those areas, just please make sure to watch out for this. Definitely a whole lot of heavy rainfall within these, a whole lot of lightning with this as well. And again, this is just all because of that warm front that lifted off to the north, so it's provided a lot of energy for us with these pop-up showers and thunderstorms to our west.
Yep, you're absolutely right. The warm front is moving through the area. Right now, I'm just reading stuff from the Weather Service, too. Again, no significant rotation concerns in Hamilton County. It's that one that we were watching, though, still just north of Lomita on the Limpasas Mills County line right now. That is the one of concern, and we've been watching that. That is kind of taking over the center stage. That is the one that's moving off to the northeast, roughly at about 30 to 35 miles per hour. So that is the reason why we need to hang with this right here, because that is the strong one. Let me get out of the way here over toward Moline, not too far away as we take you down to the city streets. You can kind of see what I'm talking about. There's Moline. We are looking at County Road like 120. It's moving through County Road 142 in that area, all moving off to the north, to the east. We are watching those winds, and again, we're taking you right on down so you can kind of see it. There's the bigger picture. Nothing going on Waco, Temple, Killeen. All is quiet right now, and nothing going on until maybe very late tonight and overnight. We'll see if they hold together. But the main activity right now, Hamilton County, Mills County, the northern part there of Lampasas County, even the extreme northeastern part of Sinsaba County, all looking at severe thunderstorm warnings, tornado warnings, flood warnings, flash flood warnings. This one continues to move off to the northeast. This is the area of concern at this moment as it tracks off to the northeast. Take a look at some of the communities there that are included in our little stretch right there over toward basically B House at 631. That's a half hour away, but you know what? You need to be thinking about what you're going to be doing right now as it moving over to your place. Pearl at 637, Slab Crossing 639, over toward Ohio around 640. We expect those showers and storms to be moving through. Now, the general trend from reading the discussions from the National Weather Service indicates possibly kind of weakening once the sun goes down, but that's not for a while right now. These are, though, producing some very strong winds. We can kind of see a little, bow a little bit right there, kind of tailing down as you work your way down toward the northern part of Lampasas County. As that tracks off to the northeast, expect some very, very strong winds. You want to stay away from any glass, any windows. You want to stay maybe inside, closer to the interior part of your house, like maybe the bathroom or a closet like that, because that hail can be flying around, especially if you see winds over 60 miles per hour. We're also talking heavy rainfall. We're also looking at the possibility of a radar-indicated, Doppler radar-indicated tornado. We are looking at the wind right now. Look at the winds. The wind's going 41 miles per hour one direction. The red is away from the radar site, 31 toward. So there's where you get that little turning in the atmosphere, the little basically the twisting, if you will, of the shear, and that's where the possible tornado would be. There's Hamilton right now. We just checked in with the Weather Service. They're not too concerned at this moment of the rotation, mainly some heavy rainfall right now. And then here's Gatesville. Just to give you an idea, Gatesville, right along Highway 84, it starts to get a little murky, and then some very, very heavy rain, some very windy conditions also kicking out, and that kind of tails down into parts of northern Lampasas County at this time. Once again, this is all China lifting up to the northeast, roughly at about 30 to 35 miles per hour. Haley, I picked up our sky tracker out of Killeen right now, kind of shooting it out to the west. For the most part, nothing but cloudy skies out in that area at this time. So I really don't expect much in the way of precipitation, at least yet, in Killeen. Once again, that's our live Centex seamless gutters and roof system sky tracker. It's on the rooftop of One Killeen Center. And what we are looking at is just some mid to high level clouds moving through parts of the area. There's no precipitation out there yet in the Killeen area, but that'll soon change here. Once again, as we look at that storm relative velocity moving through that area. Again, some decent rotation still just north there in northern Lampasas, southern Mills County, what we're watching right now, but nothing else really has been developing here across the region. Trying to backbuild a little bit, but we'll put a tracker on that, and you can kind of get an idea which way it's moving along the way, I should say, with some cities with it. And for the most part, these cities include Avant and over toward the Ballard Crossing area, Slab Crossing, Ohio, definitely all tracking up toward the Jonesboro area, over toward Coryell. We'll see if it holds up toward Cransville Gap right now. But if you are in those communities, this is a tornado-warned storm. It's all wrapped in the clouds. It's very difficult. Like we're looking at the heavy rainfall that's coming down out there right now, so you won't be able to see much right now if you're looking out your window, but the heavy rainfall, you want to stay away from the windows anyhow and get inside. What we are also watching for is that tremendous amounts of rain. Again, flood warnings are in effect for Sinsaba County. I wouldn't doubt later on in the evening here we start to see some more of those flood warnings or flash flood warnings for areas just off to our south and to our west there of Waco, Temple, and Killeen. Speaking of the flood watch. We do a flood watch that's out, but it isn't going to affect until tomorrow. Another round of some very heavy rainfall Tuesday night into Wednesday will affect our eastern viewing area right along I-45. Tonight's show, though, will be off to the west of I-35. There are numerous warnings in effect, and they're all tornado warnings right now. Again, if you are just joining us, you're just getting home from work, let me go over the latest for you. We've got tornado warnings in effect for Mills County, just to the south there in Lampasas County. Tornado warnings go for the next 10 minutes. Since Abbott County has that dark red, that is a flash flood warning that is in effect right now. Some tremendous amounts of rain have been reported at this time. We are looking at our storm relative velocity. We're checking out the wind inside these thunderstorms. Best way to find out if we've got some rotation, we've got some shear going on, and sure enough, there it is right there, just to northern Lampasas County, southern parts of Mills County, heading to the northeast. Take a look there. If you live in the Clifton area, you're okay at this time, but it will be moving in that direction here very, very soon if it holds together. Clifton, you're way up there, but other areas of more relevant right now over toward basically Yvonne, over toward the B House, around Pearl, around Ohio, around Slab Crossing, around 633.
Yeah, and it's almost within the last couple radar scans, it's kind of become a little bit more broad, which is a good thing. When it starts to tighten up, that means that it's still
wound up, yeah.
Exactly. So it's kind of broadening out, and even when I was circling it, I'm like kind of questioning where it is because it is starting to broad out, which is a good thing. But again, these tornado warnings for not only Mills County and Lampasas County go until 6:15 tonight, so within the next couple of minutes. This thing is slowly moving out of here to the northeast at about 30 miles per hour. So a little bit of a slower pace, could be faster, but you know what? That's okay. We're going to keep watching it. We're going to keep eyeing it. But again, a few minutes ago, we were talking about this rotation over in Hamilton County. Somebody was asking a question about that, and they were saying that there's no significant rotation with it. I think they have a storm spotter out there, too, and she says that she can't see anything, so she's out there watching it as well. So there's not a whole lot going on in Hamilton County, but again, we're going to keep you posted on that, and we'll most definitely keep you advised. But the one that we're concerned about, that we've been repeating, just in case you've just tuned in or kind of gotten home, we've been watching these showers and thunderstorms start to develop out from the west, and they're slowly starting to pop up in central Texas, moving towards the northeast, I should say, at about 30 miles per hour, maybe 35 miles per hour. And so these have thrown out a couple tornado warnings with them. If they do, I don't think it looks like it's going to be tracking into the Waco, Temple, and Killeen area since it does have a northeasterly track to it. But again, we're going to be eyeing this closely, and we're going to keep you informed first right here on Fox 44 News. But until then, I'm going to go ahead and put yet again another storm tracker on just to get your bearings set. And so these places, these communities that I'm about to highlight, you need to be in your safe place immediately. Again, I'm going to go ahead and throw that storm tracker out. This rotation that I just talked about, it's really dying out. I always say it's not my favorite. Yeah, if I'm going to see some rotation, it better be some tight rotation. But this is pretty broad in terms of what we want to see. So that's a good thing for us because we don't want to see rotation,
we don't.
Period. So anyway, so the Fabian crossing at 6:19 p.m. that's headed your way within the next 10 or 11 minutes. B House at 6:32 within the next 20-ish minutes. Pearl at 6:38 if it happens to hold up. The Slab Crossing at 6:40. There's not a ton of communities out here, and so I keep trying to go as far down on this list as I can to kind of snag some of these closer communities. But even if you're in the Fairview community, the Vista community, Schoolerville community, if this thing happens to turn a little bit more northerly, that'll definitely be coming in your direction. So please make sure to be in your safe place within this area. If you happen to see your town or your city kind of pop up, just make sure to be on the lookout and be finding your safe place immediately. That'll be a basement, a window, or an area that's closed off, a closet, pantry, an inner bathroom if you happen to not have a safe room or anything of that sort. Again, I'm going to go ahead and throw up our storm, our correlation coefficient. This shows any sort of debris that may be lofted in the air if there happens to be a tornado on the ground. I think we're okay as of right now. Again, that's a good thing. We do not want to see any of these blues or these kind of darker colors that would be sitting right here like they should be with rotation like this. But again, it's kind of broadening out, which is a good thing. So if this happens to continue moving into this direction, this will definitely pop a warning for Hamilton County within the next several minutes.
And I'll tell you, a lot of this activity has been kind of holding holding its own for the most part. It looks like, though, we're starting to see a little back building going on behind it as you can work your way over toward San Saba County. Some more scattered showers, but remember, they're running into some more stable air for the most part, but it's very, very unstable in parts of Limpasas up toward Hamilton County, Mills County. The warnings continue for the next 5 minutes in that region. Once we look at our storm relative velocity, it will tell us exactly that, yeah, we're seeing kind of a more of a broad brush now. It's kind of not as well defined as it was before, but this would be the area of concern. We're kind of watching this very, very closely. Once we see that move to the northeast, it's starting to kind of weaken just a little bit, but there it is around the Moline area, heading up toward Fairview, over toward Avant, over toward Bee House and Ballard Crossing for the most part as that lifts. But notice how it's beginning to weaken just a little bit here. It does appear that it's kind of fading out just a little bit on those last few images right there with our storm relative velocity. This continues to track off to the north and to the east. So if you're up in Hamilton County, it's just to your south right now. Again, most of the activity is moving through parts of Hamilton County, some very heavy rainfall, getting ready to move through that region, as well as some stronger winds. There's that broad area of concern right now. It's not as finely tuned or together. The other area that they're watching was in southern parts of Hamilton County right now. That's all tracking off to the northeast at about 30 to 35 miles per hour. Again, the rotation is pretty broad right now, nothing overly concerning at this time. Again, coming from the Weather Service, they will be expiring the tornado warnings at 6:15, which is some very, very good news. But some very heavy rain out there. Take a look at our relative velocity, or actually, let's take a look at our reflectivity. Look at that heavy rainfall. This is good news. Remember, we're still in that drought. We need several inches of rain, and we are seeing it right now. Granted, there's a lot of lightning out there from Hamilton County down toward Mills County, Limpasas County, but it's all lifting to the north and to the east, and more scattered showers behind that in parts of San Saba, but pretty quiet conditions here in Waco, Temple, and Killeen. Rainfall totals, of course, they're right in between where our rain sensors are for the most part, but you get the idea here. You can pick up a quick ½ inch or more, especially just northwest of Limpasas, southern parts there of Mills County, the north and eastern part there of San Saba County, heading over toward Hamilton County, seeing a little bit in the way of rainfall. You can see over a tenth of an inch up toward Comanche right now. That rain continues to lift to the northeast. This is the area that's been under the gun starting this afternoon. That's where the slight risk of severe weather is. Marginal risk here over toward basically Waco, Temple, and the Killeen area, but this area is where we are seeing those showers and thunderstorms firing up. We've got a warm front in the vicinity, and usually right along that warm front is where you would see the active weather occur. We hit our convective temperatures today, and it was pretty warm, especially down at the surface, and as those lift to the northeast there, they've been triggering out those scattered showers and storms along the way. Hamilton, southern Hamilton County, heading down toward Limpasas, all tracking to the northeast. Western part there of Coryell County, seeing a little bit right now in the way of some stronger winds, but we're also seeing some heavy rain in that area as well. Take a look at our exclusive Viper radar. Heavy rainfall beginning to just clip over toward Coryell County, Hamilton County. If you're in Bosque, you're getting hit pretty good. We're talking some pretty heavy rainfall, I should say, up toward the Clifton area for the most part, or at least heading up toward Clifton eventually, but over toward Hamilton and then down toward Goldthwaite, Lomita, looking at some very heavy showers and thunderstorms just to your north right now. And that is the hail. As we flipped it over to our hail to show you how large the Doppler radar indicated hail is right now, ranging from maybe just under a ½ inch up toward Hamilton, but over an inch just on the border there, Mills County and Limpasas County, all tracking to the northeast. So hail is a big concern, along with those very strong winds and that heavy rainfall that's been moving across that area as well. There's the big picture. So once that lifts through, we're still not out of the woods yet. because eventually there's more building back just to the west of the Brady area. You can see those showers out in West Texas. That's all going to be marching. See, there we go. That's all going to be marching in our direction. So I think our best chance here, Waco, Temple, and Killeen will start to come overnight tonight into early tomorrow morning, maybe another little break, and then we have to wait for the cold front, which would be late Tuesday into Wednesday across our area. But these tornado warnings, they are still in effect for Mills County, Lampasas County. They will be expiring in about 20 seconds here. So they are not going to continue with those warnings for those two counties. As it begins to push into Hamilton County, we do have some heavy rainfall moving through that area. We're getting ready to throw it over here to MG, who's got some news, and we're going to do that here in about 15 seconds, Tim. So just be ready for that. Right now on our exclusive Viper radar, mainly heavy rainfall now pushing through the northeastern part of not only Hamilton County, but also over toward Mills County. And again, that's all just to the west of Waco, Temple, and Killeen. We're going to have a complete breakdown here on what to expect later on tonight coming up in just a few minutes. But let's check in with MG, who's got the latest with the news.